Hey guys, welcome back to the Brook Trout Homestead. You may be wondering why we're not in the garden. Well, today that's because we're going to be planting fruit trees. All right, so like I said, we're going to be planting fruit trees today. I have two different styles of fruit trees that we'll be planting. We have 5 fruit trees in total, 1 apple, 2 peach, and 2 plum. So 2 of them, which is our apple tree, and 1 peach tree is what's called bare root. So bare root is honestly just as it comes. The roots are bare. There's no soil or anything around them. So they're soaking right now in a bucket of water. The reason so is they tell you before you plant your bare root trees, you want them soaking in water for 2 to about no more than 6 hours. So I got these in here. They're soaking now. The reason being is because you want the roots nice and moist. You don't want them dried out. You want them moistened and ready to plant when you get them in the ground. So that's the first thing you want to do is fill up a bucket. If you have bare root, get them in there and soaking. The second one is actually a potted fruit tree, which I'll go through this process as I begin to plant. It's much easier, much simpler. If you can get potted ones, it's amazing. And by the way, I bought these fruit trees from Stark Brothers. So this is called a Stark Bros Easy Start Pot. Like I said, I'll show it to you once I get it out of the bag. But Stark Brothers, I hear, are a really good company. So far, this is our first year to buy from them. So we're really excited about it. But we're going to get these started planting, and I'm going to show you kind of the location-wise. Okay, so we are actually in the front of our yard. That right there is where our garden is, where y'all see most of our videos. So we're in the front of the house. If you can see, I have 1 pole here, 1 back there, 1 tree there, and 1 tree there. So we're going to plant 4 in our front yard, and the last one is going to go in our backyard. So location is important. You want to make sure the place that you go from is far away from any obstacle. This is about 15 feet away from our fence to where our trees are going to be, and about 15 feet from this tree to that tree. Make sure you look overhead as well. See, I have a power line that runs right there coming to my house. So this tree is planted not underneath it. If I look straight up, there's nothing here. I've split these 2 here with the 2 lines that we have, because there's the other one. So you got to make sure you have 15-foot clearance on top and 15-foot clearance all around with your locations. So let me dig out my first hole real quick, and I'll kind of explain what I'm doing. All right, so the first tree I'm going to plant is going to be a potted tree. So you see where this stick is here? This is where I'm going to plant this tree. Now when you plant, you want to dig a hole 2 foot by 2 foot by at least a little bit deeper than the pot is. The reason why is because you want to make sure you have enough loose soil for the roots to begin to grow. So let me get going on that, and let me get this hole dug, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so I got my hole dug. You may be wondering why it's a square hole. Well, I found out that if you dig your hole in a circle, the roots sometimes will hit the wall and begin to go around and around and around. So kind of like my pot is square, if you do a square hole, the roots, oh, the tree just fell. the roots will go into the ground and keep going. So that's why it's square, because it'll hit the wall and keep going. I got it deep enough. You want to add some loose dirt, like I said, on the bottom of it, the topsoil on the bottom, where it's going to do the most good, because that's where the fertile soil is. And then once you get it, I'm going to take it out of this real quick, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. All right, so my daughter here is about to take the tree out of the pot, see if she can get it. Okay, there we go. It'd be a little more difficult. Okay, so as you can see, it's already there, bound up, ready to go. Now, you would say, oh, let's just plant it like this. No, you can't. You take a knife, and you see where these lines are? I don't know if you can see that, but there's lines here. You just take your knife, and you're going to cut down that. Just like that. Now, what that does is, it breaks the roots up that are bound. All right? And it's going to cause new growth to begin. So you get that cut up and you begin to kind of tease them a little bit like that. Kind of break it up a little bit. You see? So those roots are there and they're going to begin to grow. Oh, look, there's actually a worm. I don't know if you can see that. There's a worm in there. Now you want this level with your ground. So I may be a little too deep here. The reason why you want it level in the ground is because otherwise it'll cause rot, and it'll begin to rot the bottom of this and tear it up. So this is what you do, and then you just kind of begin to backfill around it real quick, and that's what I'm about to do, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so as my daughter's backfilling right now, I'm just trying to make sure that these chunkier pieces are broken up and loosened around it, because like I said, you want it nice and loose all around the tree as you're planting. So you just want to try to step on it, around it, to firm it in really good. Put your boots right here. Yeah. Yep. Okay. See, just like she's doing there. And there you go. You got your tree all planted and nice. Now, like I said, I got 3 more of these to do, and then I'll be right back to do it. Another thing is you want to try to make sure your tree is as straight up as possible. All right, and let me go on with the other ones, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I got this hole set all dug out, ready to go, but as digging this hole, I found out that this hole is mostly clay. See how it's sticking together like that? Molding. So it's pretty much clay. See that big old clunk? So that's an issue, because you need good draining soil for your roots to begin to grow to. So how do we solve this? Well, organic material. Cocoa coir. Look at that. So I'm going to mix this in with that soil and create a good draining soil here, so that way my tree right there doesn't drown in the water. So that's what I'm about to do. All right. So like I said, the cocoa coir mix, I put all around the base of it and down in the bottom of it, so the roots have area to grow. And now we're just kind of mixing in the rest of the clay around it, all loosened up. So a tip, always have cocoa coir on you just in case. You never know if you're going to run into clay soil or not.
For the bare root tree, as you can tell, the roots are bare. This little notch right here is where you want the dirt 3 inches below. So you try to set it in the middle of the hole, level with the ground, 3 inches below that little nodule. And then you just pack the dirt around it the best you can and trying to keep it below that nodule right there.
So this was the first one that I planted here. And we went back already and we put fertilizer, liquid fertilizer on this, and then we watered it in really well. But now that they're all watered in and ready to go, the next thing we got to do is put a weed barrier around it. We're going to put some mulch on it, and then we're going to put a stake on it to hold it up. Now I need to stake this tree. The tree already comes with a cane attached to it, if you can see it here. But the straps that are on it are not the best straps for it. They say you can leave this cane on here and it's perfectly fine. But I want to add a better staking system. That way I don't have to replace it over time. I can just put this one in here and leave it in here for 3, 4, 4 years, something like that. So it's longevity that I'm looking for. So I'm going to take this cane off real quick, put in my stake, and also put down a weed barrier around it real quick. Okay, so this is the staking system that I have. It's actually from Stark Bros. It's really good. I'll show you up close once I get it in and kind of talk about it. This little rubber piece right here is loose, and you want it to be loose. So let me attach it to the tree, and then I'll show you real quick. It's supposed to be loose because the tree is supposed to be able to move in the wind. So it's loose like that, so the tree has mobility, is able to move in the wind, and it actually strengthens the root system and everything within there. So it's real important to actually have one like this. So it's not falling over, but it's staying sturdy with it. Got my weed barrier on, got the stake on. I got a few more to do. Once I get done with that, I'm going to put some mulch all around this to try to suppress the weeds. Then I'll show you the finished product. All right, guys. This is my finished product on one of them. As you can see, the one back there, one there, and then one over there. So I put the weed barrier down, did a good layer of cedar mulch around it. I actually had to go buy this from the store. We didn't have any left over. So I put a nice thick layer of hardwood cedar mulch around it. I got my stakes all in there, holding it up. We fertilized it, we watered it, and now we just got to pray for the good Lord to give us good fruit trees this next year. Well, guys, thank y'all for being along with this video and watching me plant these fruit trees. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. We greatly appreciate it. I hope this helped you and shown you that, you know what, fruit trees are not that difficult. God bless, and y'all have a great one. Bye.